Okay, that's going to bring us to our second piece of text, which is the poem, "O Captain, My Captain." What we need to do with this poem first is we have to understand what an allegory is. If we don't know what an allegory is, we're not going to understand the concept of this poem whatsoever. So I'm going to ask someone to read the literary term about an allegory, and then we're going to highlight the key ideas for it. So, Luzma, can you read about an allegory for us?
An allegory is a literary technique of extending a metaphor through an entire poem or story so that objects, persons, and actions of the text are equated to meanings that lie outside the poem.
Okay, so an allegory. It makes a metaphor so objects, persons, and actions have different meanings outside of their writing. If we take a look at our third kid cue, it gives us a hint about what the actual poem is supposed to be about. This poem is representing the death of Abe Lincoln. So, "O Captain, My Captain" isn't necessarily a captain. You have that TP cast paper in front of you. What I want you to do with that TP cast paper is I want you to pull it out and put your name on it if you haven't done so already. Okay, you should have your predictions written down at this point. And what we're going to do is we're going to read through the poem. I'm going to start an analysis of the poem for you. So I'll be taking pauses, and I'll be thinking aloud. What I'm thinking aloud is hinting about the TP cast. So you might hear me go, "Wow, that was an interesting tone." That's kind of a trigger of, "Oh, she's telling us something. Should probably write that down." So you're not going to see me writing anything in the poem while I'm reading it, but I'm going to be thinking aloud, and you are going to want to take notes on what I am presenting to you in my think aloud. All right, let's go ahead and read. "O Captain, My Captain" by Walt Whitman. "O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck. The prize we sought is won." Kind of an interesting tone. They finished something. They finished a trip, but they won something. Well, that's kind of positive. Probably do something about positive. I'd probably write that down. "The port is near. The bells are here. The people all exulting. While all eyes, the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead." Okay, so they took a trip. They won something. That's cool. That's a good positive thing. But they lost their captain. He died. That's kind of negative. So I would write that down. "O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trells. For you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head, it is some dream that on the deck you've fallen cold and dead." My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my warmth. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I, with mournful tread, walk the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. For us to understand the poem, first what we've got to do is we have to figure out, again, these allegories. So there's a word, captain, a second word, ship, a third, trip, and a fourth, voyage, that are being used as allegories. So that means they have a different meaning. So So I'm going to look for him in the poem. There's captain, captain, trip, ship, voyage, captain, ship. Each one of these words means something else. So let's kind of decide what could they possibly mean. If you know this poem number 1 is about the death of Abe Lincoln, who do you think the captain is? Captain's going to Lincoln. Should have been red. I think you can figure that out, though. Captain is Lincoln. Now we have to figure out what ship could possibly mean. Okay, think of an actual captain of a ship. What is their job with a ship? What do they do? What are they responsible for? They're going to protect the crew. What else does a captain of a ship do? Has to maintain the ship. Probably some other ideas. So if Abe Lincoln is the captain, what's his job? What's his responsibility? What's his job or responsibility, Anita?
Well, he is the leader of the control.
What is he controlling specifically?
Like, he tells people to do, like,
Who?
the leader.
Who's the people?
Like,
What's that? Okay, it could be his union, it could be his confederacy. What do you think his ship is? He has a job to protect people. He has a job to enforce laws. What is his ship? Right? A little bit more than the White House. Take it one step further. Brandon?
The army.
One step further than the Army, something bigger. Etienne? We're going to take a pause right there in our thought.